If you're looking for ways to prepare your toddler for a new baby, then you're in the right place. Today, I'm sharing 11 tips for how to help prepare your toddler for a new sibling in order to have the smoothest family transition possible. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome if you're new here. If you don't already know me, my name is Jess. I am a toddler mom with baby number 2 on the way, and I have a background in early childhood, development and education, and psychology. My son is 21 months right now, and as we're getting closer and closer to welcoming baby number 2, I wanted to share the types of things that we've been doing in order to prepare our son Luke for a new sibling. So let's get started. My first tip is to read lots of books. We really started doing this further along in the 3rd trimester. So like I said, Luke is only 21 months. He's known for a while that there is a baby coming and there's a baby in mommy's belly, but I think that books are a great way for a child to get a simplified, straightforward idea of what is going to happen when a new baby arrives. We have been reading lots of books about new babies or becoming a big brother. So these are just some of the ones that we read. This one's called Big Brothers Are the Best, My New Baby. This is a little critter book. I used to have this book when I was little, so this is The New Baby. I'm a Big Brother. This one also comes in I'm a Big Sister, I believe. And then he loves Daniel Tiger, so The New Baby is here with Daniel Tiger. That's a great one. They also have a Daniel Tiger episode on meeting the new baby, so we did watch that as well because he loves Daniel Tiger. Anything that's giving them kind of an idea of what's about to happen. Books are a great way to do that. Kids can connect, especially toddlers, because they can see the illustrations, they can see what's happening, and you can kind of use that as a springboard to talk about what's going to happen when the new baby arrives and kind of show them what to expect. One thing I think is important is to show your child how the baby's going to be fed. So if you're planning on breastfeeding, I know a lot of books don't really show breastfeeding. So this one, I think My New Baby does a couple times. It shows the mom breastfeeding, and I think you should show bottle feeding as well so that your child knows, even if you're not going to breastfeed or even if you're not planning to bottle feed, the child knows that there are different ways that a baby can be fed. I will leave links for these books down below, as well as any of them that have like big sister equivalents to them too. These are just some of the ones I picked up that we've been reading recently. My next tip is to practice with a baby doll. This is so great for your toddler to role play future scenarios with baby. So you can use a doll and talk about all the things that you're going to be doing with baby, such as bathing, feeding, changing diaper, putting baby to sleep, and you can act out all these different scenarios and have your toddler act out these scenarios, showing them how they might want to help with the baby when the baby comes. But it is important to remember to let your child lead when it comes to helping the baby. Definitely don't force them. You don't want to put that kind of responsibility or feeling on them that they like have pressure, that they have to help, or that they're like a big brother or big sister, so they have to like be more grown up. You just want to keep it light and let them know that if they want to help, they will be able to help with baby. Think about the things that they can help with, such as getting diapers or getting a towel or a washcloth for the baby when they're in the bath, or whatever you feel comfortable with letting your child help with. Obviously, this is going to vary depending on the age of your child as well, but this is a great thing to do to help them feel included. Role playing with a doll is really great for imaginary play and helping them to get a feel for what it's going to be like when baby's there. My next tip is to include your child in everything having to do with baby. So we told Luke about everything having to do with baby as we were doing it. So for example, if I had to go to a doctor's appointment or setting up the nursery, we were telling him what we were doing to let him feel included in the process. Even though he's only 21 months, he's not even 2 yet, I just always want to explain things to him, and kids understand a lot more than you think they do. So I think that this is really important for helping them to feel included and just know what's going on and keep their mind at ease. So going along with the last tip, my next tip is to talk about the baby a lot and kind of what to expect when baby gets here. Like I said before, especially when playing with the baby doll, if you get one, talk a lot about what's going to be happening. The baby's going to cry, the baby's going to need to be fed, the baby's going to need a diaper change. So kind of talk about what's going to happen and talk about what to expect. So I think the next one is great for having your child connect with the baby before they're even here, and that is addressing the baby by name. Obviously, if you don't have a name picked out or you don't know the gender of your baby yet, that is totally fine. This is completely optional. I just think it's a great bonus. Luke knows what his brother's name is, and he has been calling him by his name, and it just helps him make a connection, especially if they're really young. But like I said, totally not necessary, so don't worry if you don't have a name picked out, or if you're one of those people that likes to wait until the baby is born to name them, or you don't know the gender yet, so don't feel pressured to do that step. It's just a little bonus one if you do know the name that can help your toddler a little bit more and just get them used to calling the baby by name. So my next tip is to show your child pictures of them as a newborn baby and also pictures of when you were pregnant with them. So I think that this is a great little tip to, again, help them feel that connection, even if they're younger, and just let them know that they were once a baby and now they're growing up and getting older, that they were once in mommy's belly and now this baby's in mommy's belly and then it's gonna be here. So I think it's hard for them, especially when they're so little and they don't really understand what's going on. I just think it helps them to make that connection and understand a little better. Another great thing to do to prepare your toddler for a baby is to expose them to other babies if possible. You can bring them around younger babies, like of friends or family members, get them used to seeing a real little baby, because obviously like a doll is not going to interact or cry or do any of that stuff. So if you can get them around a real young baby, that would be awesome. If you can't, no worries. Again, this is like a bonus one. I had some friends over a couple weeks ago and their baby was like 2 months at the time. So it was really cute to watch Luke with him and to see how he interacted. And you get to see how they act towards a baby and how they feel about a baby. Granted, of course it's gonna be different when you bring baby home, but this is just another cool little bonus step to get them used to being around a baby, especially if it's like only been them for a while or they've only been around older kids. You're going to want to avoid extreme transitions before and after baby's born. You want to give yourself about 2 months of a buffer at least before baby's born and after baby's born if you feel the need to do any large transitions. So things that would be disruptive to your child's life or a big change, anything like potty training. If you're gonna put the nursery where your child is now, so if they have to move to a different room, if you have to transition them to a bed from a crib, if you're nursing and you're planning on weaning, I do not recommend doing that right before or right after baby's born, because your child is gonna need as much of a sense of normalcy as possible surrounding a large event. So obviously, bringing a new baby home is a monumental milestone for your whole family, and there's going to be a lot of changes, especially if your child is young. They need routine and stability as much as possible, so you definitely want to avoid doing those things. We kind of bit the bullet and chose to potty train last month, even though Luke is kind of young. He was only 20 months at the time, but we wanted to have enough time for him to get the whole thing down and for it to not be so brand new when the baby came. By the time baby gets here, it'll be like almost 3 months. So I think that was like a significant amount of time to do something like that. So I would say like minimum 2 months. If you can do longer, that's great, to avoid any big changes around the birth of your new baby. You want to spend lots of time with your toddler before baby gets here. You want to get that time in now while you can. Obviously, things are about to change a lot, so you definitely want to carve out that time and give your child as much love and affection and one-on-one time that you can right now before baby arrives. Once baby arrives, you're definitely going to want to carve out some time each day to spend only with your toddler by themselves. This is really important for assuring them that you're still there, you still love them, you still care about them, and making sure that they don't feel that it's all about baby all the time. So you still want to make sure to dedicate some alone time to them and do special activities with them once baby gets there. I know it's gonna be hard at first. I'm bracing myself for it. Toddlers are so demanding of time, but I think a big part about it too is really making them feel included and just giving them the option, like I said, to do things like help or sit next to you if you're feeding the baby or anything like that that makes them feel included in the process. But like I said, you want to show them lots of affection and make sure they know that you will always love them and they will always be super special to you. You're going to want to fill your toddler in about plans for when you're going into labor. How detailed you have to get depends on the age of your child, because if you have a younger child, you probably won't have to get as in detail. For example, I already told Luke that when mommy is ready to go have the baby, he's going to be going to his Mimi and Pa's house to sleep over there. So he already knows that. He's also already slept there before, and my parents watch him a lot, so he is already familiar with their house and going there. So think about that if it's going to be someone different watching your toddler or taking care of them while you're having the baby. You definitely want to make sure that they know who they are and are kind of familiar with the process of what's going to happen, just to make the transition easier. You also might want to let them know, if they're older, what's going to happen at the hospital, because some kids might be a little scared to hear that you're going to the hospital to have a baby. Just letting them know and explaining the process and telling them that everything's all good. You know your child and you know how detailed you have to be. Letting them be as in the know as possible will help them to feel a lot better and less apprehensive about the situation. My next tip is to expect different emotions. You may see your toddler go through different feelings about having a new baby in the house before your baby's even there. You might even see things like they're happy about the baby one minute and then maybe they're upset about the baby the next. But these also may not come out until the baby's actually home. Definitely be sure to focus on the positive and stay patient. Remember, this is a really big transition for them, especially if they've been the only child so far. Definitely acknowledge their feelings if they're vocally voicing their concern with words, and just keep things positive. Try and focus on all the good things from having a new baby at home from your child's perspective. If you want to see the things I'm doing to prepare for birth and having a newborn, then definitely check out my video on how to prepare for birth and a newborn. Even if you're a second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever time mom, I'm sure you will find it helpful. I'm going through all of those steps again, even though I'm a second time mom, to prepare for my birth and having a newborn in the house. If you also want to see what you need for baby number 2, then I have a video linked in the description box below talking about all the questions to ask yourself and how to figure out what to buy for your second baby. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more pregnancy, parenting, and early learning videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck with your growing family, and I'll see you next time.